3, 2, 1. Action.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Can you meet you, sir?
My name is Francis Daniel Okumagba, the president and founder of FMG Empowerment Company Limited.
Okay. What is FMG, sir?
FMG is the acronym for Free Mentorship Grooming. I actually set up a platform called FMG where I create the enabling environment to mentor and counsel people on how to create wealth and multiply wealth.
Wow, that sounds very interesting. Well, how has this been able to affect the life of the regular Nigerian youth in the country?
One of the greatest problems we have in Nigeria today is poverty and unemployment. I have a solution that can reduce poverty and unemployment by over 20 to 30%. Money flows in the streets of Nigeria. Nigerians are not picking it because of the wrong orientation that we have. The style of education that we have in Nigeria is education that a lot of people cannot interpret and apply.
Okay.
People go to school and read various professions, and they come out and they're not able to actually make use of what they've read. Because the colonial masters who brought education into Nigeria taught us because they required interpreters, civil servants that will work for them, and teachers. So they tailored our education system in a way where they just teach people to apply what they've taught them. So people get taught and regurgitate what they are taught. So because of the style of education we have, a lot of people come out of the university and they are not able to apply themselves. I have seen the gap in the industry and in Nigeria, and what I've done with my experience, my years of experience in the banking industry, having spent 25 years in the banking industry, and the exposure that I have in Canada where I traveled and spent some time in Canada, got extinct in Canada and was able to get exposed to how wealth is created and wealth is transferred. So I created this platform where I now teach people and mentor people on how to actually see how education can be applied. And that's what I'm doing now.
Okay, very interesting, sir. How long has FMG been? How old is FMG?
FMG has been on for over 4 years.
Okay.
But I will tell you that in the past 2 years, we have actually made a mark and we have actually consolidated. Now we actually understand our target audience and how to reach our target audience. And we have actually improved on what we started with. Like I told you, I spent 25 years in the banking industry, rose to be executive director of one of the big banks, and left the banking industry as an executive director. So the exposure and experience that I have is what I used and looked at what the gap we have in the environment and all that, and I started this whole scheme. When I started initially, it was very difficult because a lot of people used to feel and think that what I was talking about is multi-level marketing, because that's how they used to see it. Because we tell them, go and bring all the people you know who don't have access to creating wealth. So when they think of the idea of, oh, I have to tell someone that is jobless to come and all that, they've sensed it that, oh, this is the game of talking to people and getting people to bring this and talk to other people. But what we actually do is mentorship. And that's what we have been doing. And today we have fine-tuned it. And now we can actually expose people to how they can start most businesses without one naira in their pocket.
Okay. You say FMG has been in existence for the past 4
Over
years.
4 years.
Okay. In a span of 4 years, how many people do you have, a particular number of people that you've been able to motivate in 4 years, and how are they doing so far?
If you look at the people that I've actually impacted on, you can't count the number of people. Because I go for television programs, I'm invited to churches, I'm invited to a lot of cooperatives, and I'm also invited to a lot of organizations that I get to talk to them and expose them to different things. For instance, I had a program on NTA. I've had programs on NTA Conversation severally, where I'm invited to come and talk about how to motivate people, to expose them to how they can create wealth and all that. So the audience is international. I have actually calls from England, have some calls from places like Sokoto, Warri, Calabar, people asking questions, oh, that thing you said, how can somebody start a business without 1 naira in his pocket? How can somebody use a pot of soup to make 1 million naira? So I get a lot of audience from all that. But I've also created a platform where people who want me to mentor them pay a token fee, and they actually get into my program, my mentorship program, where I actually put them through on how they can actually create those things that I talk about. In that platform, we have over 3,800 members today. who are paid 20,000 naira fee to be members of the platform, and they enjoy a lot of benefit doing that because they get continuous counseling and mentorship from us.
Okay. During the course of this interview, I heard you mention the fact that you rose to the position of an executive director of one of the top banks in Nigeria today. And if you ask me, that's a very juicy position. A whole lot of people would give their right hands over. What prompted you to say, okay, I'm done here, I have to go start up FMG? What gave you that push?
There is no employment that is good enough. Divide whatever you earn monthly by 30 days. You'll see what it translates to. A young lady walked into my office, for instance, and told me, I hear you teach people how to be rich, and I would like to be rich. And I asked this young lady, what do you do for a living? She says she's a marketer. I said, how much do they pay you in this marketing job that you do? She said, they pay her 30,000 naira a month. I said, divided by 30 days, I will know how much it translates to on a daily basis. It translates to 1,000 naira a day. And I asked the young lady, how much do you pay to and fro to where you go to work? He said 600 naira. I said, how much do you eat during the break time every day? He said 500 naira. I said, how much do you spend on the average on your airtime, your phone and data? He said 200 naira. It translated to a negative of 300 naira. That is what employment is. And I was there for 25 years. You know, when you get into the banking industry, you get popped up. They pay you good salary. Before you know what is happening, they promote you and they make you a manager. The sense of importance and feeling of, oh, I'm in charge and all that. As you get good in what you are doing, they give you some more promotion and they make you an assistant general manager. I was in that track, looking forward to becoming MD. There was no direction. I didn't imagine that I have skills that I can actually use to create wealth and actually use to actually make 10 times what I earn with one transaction. So I quit when I got to executive director's level. I quit and relocated to Canada, also thinking that the greener pastures are there. And when I get there, I will be able to do so much. But I got to Canada, got exposed to their environment and saw what they were doing. And I looked at it and I said, if I apply what I am doing here in Nigeria, I will make a lot of people billionaires. So I packed my things and relocated back to Nigeria. So I'm in Nigeria now, and I set up FMG platform. So anybody that is in employment, you are just there, coasting, wasting your youth, taking things that you take for granted. You just be there. You are locked up there, assuming that, oh, one day I will get out. You can imagine people who work in the civil service. Some of them actually put all their youth in civil service. They go into the civil service hoping to become director or PAMSEC. But what percentage of them can become PAMSEC and directors? Only 1% of them. But you have a lot of them who lock themselves up in employment for 30 years and earn salaries that don't take them home in 2 weeks. There is no salary that is good enough. I realized that at the peak of my career when I was already executive director, and I got out, and what I'm doing now is exciting to me. I put smiles in the faces of people that I talk to, and I continuously impact on people. And when I see people making success out of what I present and show them, it gives me a lot of excitement. And you know, when you want to retire from paid employment and all that, you should do something you enjoy so that as you go on, you can give back to society. And that's exactly what I'm doing, and I'm excited about it.
I'm excited that you are excited about what you're doing right now. Okay, sir, what is the biggest challenge? From everything you've said, you are a problem solver, you give solutions to problems. But what is the biggest problem you're facing right about now?
You know, Nigeria is the investment bride of the world. Money flows in the streets of Nigeria. And my biggest challenge is how can I reach out to the people that needs to know? That's my biggest challenge. How can I reach out to state government and tell state governors that I can reduce unemployment in their state by over 20 to 30% given the opportunity? How can I bridge the gap among the donor agencies and a lot of development agencies who come to Nigeria to want to support causes, and they are frustrated because they cannot go through government because of the bureaucracy, and they cannot go to the private sector companies because a lot of the private sector individuals open briefcase companies and they come out and assume and get people to think that they know what they are doing. So a lot of those donor agencies repatriate their money back outside the country continuously. How can I have access to those displaced people that are in all those camps to actually go there and liberate them from staying in places where they can actually go out the next day and start doing business? How can I go to the NYC camp and also tell those coppers that they should not leave the youth service camp without having being equipped to become entrepreneurs. I have a lot of people to reach out to, and my problem is I can't reach out to too many people. So what I'm trying to do now is to look at the ways I can actually collaborate with organizations like yours, organizations like churches, NGOs, government agencies, state governors, the federal government and development agencies, to see how we can collaborate and work together to expose more people to how they can actually open their eyes to see the money that flows in the streets of Nigeria and how they can pick it easily. So my challenge is, who can I collaborate with to make this happen? And I look forward to seeing people that I can collaborate with. Even churches and the mosque. I'm also looking at the opportunity of churches calling on me to come and talk to their congregation. People get sick today and go to the hospital because they are sick and they don't eat well, and because of poverty. There are a lot of people who go to the church today and they are looking for miracles and how they can actually get salvation and all that. Most of the things that carry them to these new Pentecostal churches today is how they can get miracles that can keep them going. There is nowhere people go to when they don't know what to do to create wealth. I've created a platform and I'm inviting everybody. If people eat well, if people know what to do, if people know that they can make money from little or nothing, they can start a business, they can open a shop without 1 naira in their pocket. They can actually use 10,000 naira capital to 20,000 naira capital and buy any food item you can think about and create a business out of it and make 1 million naira a month. We will not have a lot of people go to the hospital. People will go to the church for this reason of serving God and not for forgetting how they can make money through churches.
So I heard you mention church and mosque, which is begging me to ask the question, are you a Christian or a Muslim?
I'm a Christian. Am I flowing?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I can't hear myself.
At least we can hear you.
You are at the other side.
Is it flowing?
It's flowing.
Is my voice okay?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Even if it's okay, you fine.
You feel that? You can make it masculine.
No, it's okay, sir.
Are you sure? Okay. I have to be sure.
You talk with authority.